When I've been here for just one day.
Okay, we're back. That's a Monday, August 12th. Talking about all the news, what's going on, all the wackos. It just keeps on, seems like to me, getting worse and worse. But a judge rules a stop and frisk violates rights in New York City. Bill wrote that on his blog, Our Missing News. If you want to find out the news that's missing that they don't tell you about, that's where you need to go, Our Missing News. Bill, what's this all about?
Well, this is quite. It's a problem that's been going on for quite a length of time. That too many blacks are stopped on the highway, and now it's you're arresting too many blacks and too many Puerto Ricans. New York is the safest large city in America. It has been for years, and it's been getting safer every year recently. And one of the reasons is that the kids are checked for revolvers and knives by police in a procedure called stop and frisk. Now, a judge has claimed that the police are in the racially black and Puerto Rican areas too much, and that's why they're arresting more of the black kids and not the white kids. So this federal judge, Shira Sheedlin, is gaining national publicity because a lot of other cities have been copying this stop and frisk that's been so successful in New York. And now she's getting national publicity declaring stop and frisk is a policy of indirect racial profiling, targeting young minorities. And New York's Mayor Michael Bloomberg is angry over this, knowing eliminating stop and frisk will increase the crime rate in New York City and in the minority areas where the kids as young as 12 years of age are known to carry revolvers.
And again, Bill, let's get back to the one thing about these children. These children have been raised by parents that are stupid, moron, idiotic idiots, people that basically do not understand. They let these kids go wild, and then you wonder why you have the problem. Stupid people should not have babies, Bill, period.
Well,
these people are that stupid.
Nobody at home. That's
well, there's nobody at home. There's no family-oriented family-oriented situation where they grow up in a family. The mother's out, the father's out, they're doing their own thing, they don't care about the kids, and then the kid hooks up with a gang, and then the kid ends up with revolvers and knives and starts killing people, and this goes on and on. Now it's racial profiling, and it gets into a big mess, and it gets messier because in the beginning when they were born, they weren't raised correctly. The parents were not raised correctly, and you have this social breakdown, Renegade Nation, and this is why you have all this nonsense going on, and this is why you have these judges and everybody's out angry and the outcry and the racial profiling and all this, because these kids, you're always going to have kids that are bad one way or the other. You're always going to have that. But this is a lot of children that have been left to their own, and what do you think they're going to do? They're going to end up in gangs with guns, and then the cops got to go in there and frisk them and find the guns, then arrest them, and now we have racism and non-equality, and on and on and on it goes. Only if the parents of these children would have raised them with some substance, you wouldn't have this problem.
Well, that's absolutely the truth. That's the way I feel. But I think the only way that they're ever going to satisfy these liberal judges is to say you've just got to go into the better areas because there are more whites in those better areas, and you arrest the same number percentage-wise of those kids, and then we'll be satisfied that it's not discriminatory.
Bill, when we go back, Bill, let's go back to when we grew up. Do we walk around with revolvers and guns and knives on ourselves? No. The majority of people that grew up in that time period during the 60s and the 70s, the 50s through the 80s, they weren't carrying guns and knives to school. What in the hell happened? This is what liberalism does over a 100-year period of time. It breaks down the society, and here we sit with this fucking problem that we shouldn't have to begin with.
Yeah, you compare this with Chicago and all the killing that's going on there, and the police in New York City have no such problem compared to what Chicago's got.
Chicago's a mess.
The cops here have taken thousands of unlicensed guns from the kids. And there may be gangs in New York, as there are in many large cities, but the kids are hesitant when they go out of their apartments to take a gun because the cop's going to be looking at them, and if they see something bulging out of their pocket, they're going to stop them.
Sure.
Since 2004 to mid of 2012, there have been 4.43 million stops by the New York City Police Department, and this judge says that's really too much for these poor kids.
Well, if it cut down the murder rate in New York City, I mean, they're doing their job. But bottom line is, I mean,
is down, and the merchants are delighted with this.
Crime is down.
The crime is down. A kid walks around with a gun. He just might well go into a store and try to hold up a candy store or a grocery store. And
but Bill, I'm going back to, let's see, a 12-year-old or a 16-year-old. You're going back 16 to 20 years. These kids are not raised correctly. And then when it comes to these issues and these social problems that are occurring, then you have to get into the anti-discrimination and the discrimination and the racism, and this is where it's all coming from because they weren't raised correctly in the first place. And this is why you have this issue and this problem. And the people that are running the United States, and this is going back 20, 30 years about education, have done just a absolute terrible job in trying to help these kids. These kids have turned out to be down low on the totem pole with nothing to look forward to. And this is why. This is because of the parents, and this is because of the social, economic breakdown of the society that has been going on for the last 20 to 25 years.
Yeah, well, a lot of these kids have no parents at home, and the mother is out working, and the father, they don't know where he is. They haven't seen him in a year or something like that.
And this, you know what?
The mothers themselves are most of them, or it seems like most of them, are behind stop and frisk because they don't want their kid dead out there.
They don't want them dead. Well, this isn't just the black or Puerto Rican thing. This is a white thing also. This is a combination of the whole conglomerate of raising children has turned into a complete disaster. And this is why we're talking about this today, which we should not be talking about. It's amazing, Renegade Nation, that these kids.
It's why we have so many in jail.
Yeah, well, that's the reason. They weren't raised properly.
More people in jail than any other country in the world.
Wow, that's amazing. Anyway, moving on, we're just going to there's so much to talk about. One of the big issues right now, a lot of people are really, really pissed off. I happen to be one of them, by the way. Time Warner and CBS are fighting it out, Renegade Nation. As you probably well know, your favorite CBS channel or Showtime, I think CBS owns Showtime, is all cut off because they're fighting about the amount of money that CBS has to pay Time Warner to carry its programming. Am I correct in that, Bill?
Yeah. The thing here is that Time Warner is the deliverer. They're not the programmer. CBS is the programmer, and CBS wants Time Warner to pay double what they have been paying CBS for the programs that they put on their cable channel. Okay, but why are they castrating? Wait. Okay, they want $2. They now get $1 per customer per month.
I understand that, but why are they castrating the audience? Why are they using the audience as a bargaining chip to get what they want? Don't you call that a very bad business? Yeah. You know, I would say cancel the whole thing.
They can get away with this now because the airwaves are no longer relevant to television. Everybody's got cable.
Right.
So the FCC can't control it. We have an FCC chairwoman now, Mignon Claiborne, who spurted out a few days ago. She says that they better settle this thing, Time Warner and CBS, or she's going to take appropriate action. But I don't think she understands. She doesn't know that much about broadcasting. CBS is on cable, and the FCC no longer has jurisdiction over cable. They only have jurisdiction over the airwaves. And how many people have rabbit ears on their TVs?
Nobody does. Well, you know, going back to the beginning days of cable, Renegade Nation, it started in 1970, and I think it was Home Box Office, which is now known as HBO, really started this cable thing. And what they did was, the idea was to get people paying for television was to tell people back then, if you pay $5 a month, we are going to give you this type of programming, and you will have no commercials. Do you remember that, Bill?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so what they did was
whatever happened to that?
Well, what happened to that was they lied to you. So what they did was they started an industry by promising you no commercials. And I'm not talking about ABC, CBS, or NBC, Renegade Nation. I'm talking about all of these channels on there. The Discovery Channel, the History Channel, this channel, that channel, every goddamn channel you can think of is on there. But if you watch that you are watching commercials that they're charging for. It's supposed to be free. That's why you pay the money. They have changed the whole game. I would say to you, Renegade Nation, if you are caught in this, cancel your subscription to Time Warner and CBS and tell them to go fuck off, because they're castrating you and you can't watch your favorite programs. I happen to be one of them, by the way. Who in the hell do they think they are to cut it off? Why can't they negotiate as mature adults and do their jobs as professional business people, Bill? Why do I have to be caught in the middle of their fucking baby and bullying antics? Grow up! Fucking morons. You're not saying anything, Bill. What happened? Did he cut me off? I think Bill cut me off. Bill cut me off, I think. Okay, I'm back. Anyway, getting back to this story. Renegade Nation, the bottom line is Time Warner and CBS are fighting this out, and you are sitting there paying for it. And you're not getting the programming that you're supposed to be getting, that you're paying for. So make sure you call Time Warner up and make sure that you're not going to pay for Showtime and the rest of their channels that they have. Just make sure, and also tell them, since you took away Showtime and since you can't do what you're supposed to do, then give me another channel for free, like Stars, and there's a couple other ones you could get. Why my computer's not working? Here we go. Okay. Anyway, we're going to take a break. I'm going to get Bill back. You're listening to Renegade Talk, where we don't sugarcoat shit. And hang in there, Renegade Nation. Just another great day in this great country of ours.
Internet Shock Radio Network. Fuck you. Renegade Talk Radio.
Welcome back, Renegade Nation. I finally found Bill. He's still in New York. Welcome to the show. Renegade Nation, Richie and Marla, along with Bill, Dean. And we're not finished talking about Time Warner, even though I said in the last segment that I was finished. Bill wants to say a few more words about Time Warner and CBS and what they're doing. We had a bad phone connection, I guess, or Time Warner cut us off. I think we're on the Time Warner system. I don't even know. I'll have to ask the engineer. Anyway, so
yeah,
Bill.
I wonder if a big surprise that Hawaii doesn't have it, because we're told on the mainland here that it's only Dallas, Los Angeles, and New York that are affected.
That's because they don't tell you the truth, Renegade Nation. We have the problem here in Hawaii. That means that when Time Warner and CBS started fighting, they cut off everything. And it's happening here, and it's happening in L.A., and Chicago, and all the major markets. In fact, it's happening...
Not Chicago, just those three cities.
Why should... No, then how come it's happening here? Why? I mean, you're telling me Chicago is still working on Time Warner and CBS, so you can see Showtime?
No, they don't want to do it across the country because they'd really be too much of a violence against Time Warner and CBS.
Yeah, but why would they do it in Hawaii of all places?
Today CBS is very casual about this and doesn't really appear that interested in settling this thing.
No, they're screwing their customers. Bill, they're screwing their customers. That's what they're doing. They don't care about the customer. And you know what? You always hear, our customers come first. We will take care of our... That's bullshit.
Yeah, both Time Warner and CBS have this propaganda going out and telling you how concerned they are.
They're not concerned about anything. If they were concerned, you would have your TV on in L.A. and New York and Honolulu. You wouldn't be sitting there without your TV. And I think you know what, Bill? I don't believe anything they say. And I've already told you, and I told Renegade Nation over and over, when they say 2 or 3 cities, nobody knew about Honolulu. In fact, when I was on Facebook the other night, I was talking to this one girl, and she lives in Palm Desert, and she told me that the NBC affiliate was cut off through Time Warner in Palm Desert. Now, you have to understand, Renegade Nation, this is going on all over the country. No, they're just not telling you how many cities have been affected by this. They're just saying New York and Los Angeles. Well, guess what? Honolulu happens to be one of them, where I'm at. And also, it's happening in Palm Desert, and who knows where else this is happening. But they don't care about you, the